Coming up on this lazy summer picnic edition of Inside Bellingham, what is modern dance? The Bellingham Repertory Dance Company was honored by the Mayor's Arts Awards this year. We get a chance to find out more. And our firefighter and paramedic in residence, Brian Flannelly, is back with some information that could save you money when driving near the scene of a fire. And the latest from Mayor Dan Pike about the downtown waterfront plans. And we have history, lots of it. Bellingham's oldest neighborhoods are brimming with historic architecture. We have more. All this in a warm half hour of hometown information. And dance right here on Inside Bellingham. Hi, and welcome to Inside Bellingham. I'm Doug Waldo, and this is Blodell Donovan Park, the perfect place to spend a summer day with a cool jug of lemonade and a homemade picnic lunch. There is a history here. J.J. Donovan, Julius Blodell, and Peter Larson started the Lake Whatcom Logging Company in 1898, and they built a large mill on this very spot, remnants of which can easily be seen in the pilings near the shore here. In 1948, the Blodells gave this spot to the city to be used as a park. And by golly, it certainly is. Today, this once industrial location is one of Bellingham's most popular 12 acres. There are grills and picnic tables, a boat launch, and facilities for everything from community meetings to children's playtime. There's even a railroad engine, old number 7. It stands as a monument to industry on the lake. You know, when you think about it, we have it all here in Bellingham. I mean, we have history, we have a great climate, and we have art. The Bellingham Repertory Dance Company is currently providing the beauty and excitement of modern dance to Bellinghamsters. And this year, the company was honored for their beautiful work and their contribution to the culture of our community by a Mayor's Arts Award. Now, this is kind of a young company, and you may not have heard about them or seen them perform yet, and so we thought we'd go and check them out. And we caught up with Alana Christman at the wonderful Firehouse Performing Arts Center in Fairhaven.
Bellingham Rep Company is a by audition only group, and so it's for the most advanced dancers in the community, just that they have an opportunity to stay here in this community, which is a great community, and live in Bellingham and still have opportunities at their level to dance. So that's kind of our main goal. Since modern dance is often quite abstract, usually, it's not always true, but usually modern dance, there's not a definite storyline that you follow. And one of the things that I really appreciate and love about modern dance is your own interpretation as an audience member is totally valid, whatever it is, and it's probably going to be completely different than the person sitting next to you. For me, dance is a way to express myself. I feel like I just kind of can deal with the world and my day-to-day life and all the emails that I have to answer and phone calls I have to return. It's just a way to step back from all of that, and you really get into yourself and real centered. And it's also a way to focus on something, where because kind of everyday life is so sort of crazy, you know, nowadays in the world that we live in, and to really be focused on something and working towards that kind of common goal with all these other people that you're really close with. The company members get very close, and this common goal of creating this art. And it's also really invigorating when the choreographers trust you with their work, with their art that they've made. Well, receiving the Mayor's Arts Award was great. First of all, it made me totally feel completely, absolutely lucky to live in such a great place where art is really appreciated and there's that support there. And then just all the different genres of music and you know, written and visual and just all genres covered. And it made me feel really lucky that the Bellingham Repertory Dance Company, being fairly young, again, we're only going into our third season here, that we received the award at kind of a pretty young age, and that they had the confidence in us to give us that award, and the confidence that we're going to go forward and continue doing what we're doing.
If you'd like to catch a performance of the Bellingham Repertory Dance Company, you can check dates on their website at www.bhamrep.org or by phoning 734-2776. Our community is building a wonderful new neighborhood on our waterfront, as you probably know. We envision it as a people place that connects easily from downtown and is a model of environmental stewardship. Mayor Dan Pike has more about the progress of this once-in-a-lifetime project.
This is an exciting time in our community's history as the city and port continue to work together on Bellingham's waterfront redevelopment project. My vision for the waterfront is to create places that embrace and enhance all those things that already make our community so unique. In June, the port unveiled its proposal to the community. This proposal includes an angled street scheme. The city project team is also developing an existing or traditional street grid plan where waterfront streets are built along the same lines as our downtown streets, reconnecting downtown to the bay. This is how Fairhaven presently connects to the bay, with a view down Harris Avenue to the water. Both the angled street grid and the traditional street grid proposals will be fully studied in an EIS, or environmental impact study, over the summer. We want to make sure that both street patterns are equally examined to ensure our decisions as a community are informed and supported. This fall, we'll be coming back to report the study findings and to get the community's perspectives on the choices before us. At the same time, the city project team is studying examples of successful and unsuccessful waterfronts around the world, so we can recreate the best aspects of successful communities right here in Bellingham. The city team is dedicated to upholding the following values. 1, sound decision making. We are committed stewards of the taxpayer dollar and will only make decisions that make the best financial sense. 2, listening to the voices of the community. And I mean all voices, artists and arts patrons, business, soccer parents, and environmentalists. The new waterfront neighborhood will belong to all of us, not just some of us. 3, we are committed to a triple bottom line standard of redevelopment that intelligently balances economic, environmental, and social considerations. Last, and this is personally vital to me, at the end of the day, we want a neighborhood that looks and feels like Bellingham, not any generic cookie-cutter urban development. I look forward to the fall when the city, port, and community can all chew over the results of the studies done over this summer. I have every confidence that in the end, the city, port, and community will come up with a plan that reflects this community's deepest values and seamlessly connects our past, our present, and our future. Thank you.
Our community's vision for Bellingham's waterfront sets the stage for an exciting new era. To learn more about plans for the waterfront, visit the city's website at www.cob.org. Okay, just enough time to get to the lunch meeting. Well, if this goes well, Oh, no.
I'm sorry, sir. Right now the whole roadway is blocked.
I'm just trying to get over to that restaurant. Is there any way I can get around this? I'm kind of in a hurry.
I understand, sir, and I apologize, but when we have a fire, we have to park where we have to, and we have to catch the closest hydrant, even if it is across the street. So right now the whole street is filled with fire hose.
But the hoses are strong, aren't they? Can I just drive over it?
A lot of people think that. It's not as strong as people think it is. It's a real common problem for us. There are 3 big reasons you should never drive over a fire hose. First, the water stream from the fire hose protects a firefighter from flames, in addition to putting it out. If you clamp off a firefighter's water supply, you're risking their life as well as anyone they're trying to rescue.
But it only takes a couple seconds to drive over it.
But a lot of damage can be done in those couple of seconds. A car tire can damage the inner lining of a hose or weaken the outer case. A hot muffler can also melt through the hose jacket. Even if it does not burst right away, it could fail at the next fire, at the worst possible time. So we have to assume that a hose is ruined and have it replaced. And fire hose is not cheap.
But you mentioned 3 reasons.
Yes. Officer?
Sir, the third reason, it's in violation of RCW 4661-640 to drive over any fire hose which is laid down in the street or private drive. It's a $124 citation. Would you like to sign?
So you really don't want me to drive over a fire hose?
No, I don't. It interferes with fire operations, it damages city properties, and it's illegal. But the simplest way of looking at it is driving over a fire hose is just like driving over a firefighter. And you don't want to do that, do you?
You can find out more about what the Bellingham Fire Department is up to and get great first-hand safety information at the city's website at www.cob.org. In the late 1800s, Bellingham's economy was influenced by several boom and bust cycles. There was the Fraser River Gold Rush of 1858, the railroad boom in the 1870s, and the logging and fishing booms of the 1880s and 90s. Now, both millionaire and working class families once moved here to build and to work our canneries, quarries, mills, shops, dairies. Today, all that's left of those generations are the houses and neighborhoods that they built. And fortunately, many of those original homes from those eras still exist. It's the city's goal to provide a greater shared knowledge of our neighborhood history by helping to document and categorize our architectural legacy before it's gone. Now, the Preserve America grant is helping the city do just that. Katie Franks has more.
In 2007, the City of Bellingham applied for and received $150,000 in a Preserve America grant.
Okay, everybody. I'm David Pinyard, and my company is Historic Preservation Northwest. I'm the principal lead on a very large grant called Preserve America that was given by the federal government to Bellingham to survey 3 historic neighborhoods, the South Hill, Leonard Streets, and York neighborhoods. So basically by survey, we go out and look at all the historic structures in those neighborhoods, and by historic we mean basically anything over 50 years of age, record what's there, and then on a selected number, probably about half of them, we'll look at the history of those houses and write up the history, and then all that goes into a database that'll be accessible online eventually by the citizens of Bellingham.
Once completed, information from the survey will be entered into the city's Geographic Information System, or GIS, by the city's GIS specialist, Kate Newell.
GIS is a computer system for storing and analyzing and displaying information. And what's most unique about GIS is that there's a spatial component to all the information. So the planners and the neighborhood representatives and interested citizens can look at these maps and kind of get a better understanding of the neighborhood characteristics. So here you can see the York construction dates. You can see where those 1850 to 1909 houses are. A lot of them are in the central part of the neighborhood, with the 1910 to 1939 houses coming in on the kind of north and south edges of the neighborhood. And if you look at that with the different styles, you can see the patterns that, you know, in the central part of the neighborhood where the older houses are, there's a lot of the vernacular and Queen Anne type houses. On the north and south ends of the neighborhood, a lot of those arts and crafts houses coming in. The Historic Resource Project is going out there and surveying all these houses that are built before 1960, so it's going to be a great tool for kind of just researching your neighborhood in your own house or your neighbor's house.
And it's a very visual, I'm visually oriented too. It's a very visual medium, historic preservation. But we do a lot of research too. Probably half this project is looking at the buildings and recording the buildings. The other half is recording their history.
I'm looking for architectural styles to validate the historical significance of the house. It's got an open eave, it's got brackets. You know, I look at the original windows here, there's 3/1 pane glass. It looks like an original front door with concrete steps leading up and with wood shingle. But this house looks like it has good historical integrity.
This is a really great resource that we're going to have forever because it is a snapshot in time, and it's going to paint a picture of what's now. And had we done this 60 years ago, there'd be a lot less guesswork of who lived there and the stories they tell, but it's also kind of part of the fun and figuring out the past and examining the present.
You can find out more about the city's Preserve America grant at the city's website at www.cob.org. Last month, local leaders hosted a delegation of dignitaries from Japan to honor the 50th anniversary of Bellingham's sister city relationship with the city of Tateyama, Japan. Now, the visiting guests included Tateyama's mayor, city council and prefecture members, business leaders, and others. Bellingham's relationship with Tateyama, Japan is the second oldest in the state of Washington after Seattle and Kobe, and one of the longest running in the United States. Exchanges between our cities over the years have included students, musicians, artists, athletes, government officials, medical personnel, and business people. We joined our guests at a picnic at Cornwall Park, just one of many events and activities planned for their visit.
Tateyama Bay and Bellingham Bay is very similar. Tateyama is swimming or fishing and scuba diving or many kinds of tourist destinations.
Well, the Sister Cities program was started by Dwight Eisenhower, and really I think it was a response to World War II. I think it was trying to think about how we might help understanding between peoples around the world so that we would be less likely to get into wars. And so our Sister City program is one of the earliest ones. The first one I think started in 1956. Ours was started in 1958. And the idea is that by having people get to know each other on a person to person as opposed to government relationship, we gain better understanding and better trust and friendship. And friends don't generally go to war with each other. And so I think it's really beneficial because it helps us to gain a broader understanding of other cultures and how they act and think and work, and help those cultures and peoples get a better understanding of who we are and the things that we value and what's important to us and some of the reasons perhaps why.
The 50th anniversary celebration was hosted by the City of Bellingham, the Bellingham Sister City Association, Saturna Capital, and dozens of business and individual volunteers. In addition to our 50-year relationship with the city of Tateyama, Bellingham has sister city relationships with Punta Arenas, Chile, Port Stephens, Australia, and Nahutka, Russia. City officials and the Sister Cities Board are working to add 2 more sister cities in the coming years, Cheongju, Korea, and Vasa, Finland. You can learn more about Bellingham's sister cities by visiting the city's website at www.cob.org. If you ever get so hot, I mean we're talking frying an egg on the sidewalk hot, and you have to be next to the lake, this is the place to be. Right here. But don't forget to bring your computer so You can send us your ideas for stories from the park or even from your home. We'd love to hear from you. You can reach us through our website or directly via email. It's great to be alive during the summer in Bellingham. You know what we need is weather like this 14 months out of every year. And then again, it could get to be boring. Not! I'm Doug Waldo. Thanks for watching. Have a great summer.